Okay, I hope you guys can see me kind of in this picture somehow. I'm back kind of far. But yeah, I wanted to make a labor and delivery story. I'm not going to make it extremely long. I could drag it out long if I wanted to, but I'm not going to make it too long. Because they have a fussy baby. Her's hungry. Um, yeah, I left off in my last video saying that I went to go check to see if my water had actually broke. And when I went there, they told me no, it did not. I was sent home, and that's where everything kind of began. I started to see a lot of spotting, and it started to get darker as time went on, and I was a little bit worried about that, but I assumed that it was okay and everything was fine. And I got sent home probably around 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish, and my husband had left work. So he just stayed home, and me and him hung out at home. We got something to eat, and we watched some TV, but we were like, we need to get this labor started. Like, what can we do? So I was drinking the red raspberry leaf tea. I was sitting on my birthing ball, hoping that, I don't know, hoping that that would just kind of start something. And I started to feel like a little bit of cramping like after that. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm just, you know, not feeling well. I'm feeling crampy or whatever. And that's normal. But it started to get worse as time went on. And my husband went to take a nap around probably like 3 o'clock. And I went to take a nap with him, but I really couldn't sleep at all because that's how bad the pain was starting to get. So I'm like, maybe I should time these. So I started timing them, and they started off like 11 minutes apart. 10. They were really irregular, and they were coming at all times, and they weren't staying for very long, and I don't know, it was just changing a lot. So I'm like, okay, well, this probably isn't the real thing. But as time went on, it really started to pick up, and I started to feel them even stronger. And they were getting closer and closer together, like 5 minutes apart, 4 minutes apart. And I actually ended up having, one of my friends planned on coming over that day anyhow to make me pasta. And I'm like, oh, I can't eat pasta right now. I feel terrible. I'm not sure if I'm having contractions or not, but I'm feeling bad. You can still come if you want, and make the pasta. My husband's here, he'll eat it. And my sister-in-law ended up coming over. So she came over, and they made me laugh the whole time, even though I was in so much pain. Yeah, I was in a lot of pain. At some points in time, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even listen to you guys right now. Yeah, it was intense. It was really intense. But it was intense to the point that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be worse, honestly. I've had really bad period cramps before, and they're not the same feeling at all, but the pain was different. It was totally different. I've had worse pain before, let me put it that way. It was intense, but I've felt worse before. So that's why I was a little surprised at how the contractions went. So by around, my friends came over, and they hung out, they laughed, they talked, and all that great stuff. Somebody's texting me or calling me. And after that, I was like, I have to go to the hospital. Like, well, I didn't even say I have to. I was really trying to put it off, and my husband forced me to go to the hospital. How am I on time? Okay, I have more time to tell you the rest of my story. So he forced me to go to the hospital at around like 9 o'clock. We left the house. I took my bags. I took, you know, all the things that I wanted to bring with me. And I went in to the triage where I went to before when I went to go see if my water had broke. Back there, and I was checked this time, and by this time I was having extreme pain, and I was just like, wow, like, whatever you guys do to me, do it. I don't care. I just want to like get this started. So the doctor that was on call there checked me, and I was already 5 centimeters dilated. So I was really shocked from that morning to that point in time, which was when I was in triage. At that time was around 10. We left at 9. We got there at 10. I was already 5 centimeters dilated, and I was feeling strong in contractions. They were coming 2 to 3 minutes apart at that point in time. So they just wheeled me over. They put me on the little like stretcher things that they put people on and roll them down the hallway. They rolled me down the hallway to labor and delivery. I can't even remember certain parts because I was in so much pain. I just didn't even look at the hallway. I didn't look at anything. They got me up there. I was like, okay, I'm 5 centimeters dilated. Do I want to get the epidural? Do I not want to get it? I kept trying to put it off. I really didn't want to. But it took me about a good hour to decide, an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe even, to decide that I did want the epidural, which I believe is the best thing on earth. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I think it's wonderful to have a natural delivery. More power to you. But I was pushing for it, but I said, you know what, I don't want to end up being in so much pain that towards the end I'm not going to be able to do any, like, you know what I mean? I was feeling tired, and then I started getting sick. I was vomiting a little bit, and, you know, my doula was there. She was wonderful help. She had ended up coming into labor and delivery. That's where I ended up meeting with her at, and it was just like, I'm ready to get this epidural, which, by the way, is not painful to get. At least for me, it wasn't. In my experience, it was not painful. It was a little sting, and then once they put all the stuff in, you know, my husband said it was kind of gruesome looking. It was kind of crazy looking. But I didn't really feel anything. With the pain I was feeling before, I would have taken just about anything. So, you know, I ended up getting that, and I felt numb from the waist down. I felt great. When it was time to push, my doctor was there, and I didn't feel the urge to push. I'm just keep looking at the time. That's why I'm peeking over here, how much time I have left. When I didn't actually have the urge to push at all with the epidural, they ended up catheterizing me. They also put some type of medication, which they put in vaginally for some sorts, because they were saying the baby's heartbeat was off, and I don't know. I was so lost at some points in time during the whole labor, but it made my heartbeat race, which was kind of like, you know, made me feel a little bit upset, and I was like, oh, I don't know why my heart is racing so much. So they gave me oxygen. They gave me one of the oxygen masks, and yeah, when it came time to push, I would, you know, put the oxygen mask on to get a little bit extra air, and she was out, I think by the time I got the epidural was 7 centimeters-ish,